I'm live on YouTube right now. So hello, everyone that's joining us from wherever you are, all of our clients that we have. I appreciate you. Also, those of you that are going to be watching this later on, I thank you for that as well. Thank you for all of you who are here today. I think it's great. So I wanted to go ahead and cover a couple of things. I want to be very to the point. My goal is to be done by 1 p.m. sharp, just to respect your time. But we may go over a little bit, but if you feel like you need to leave or whatever, absolutely go ahead and feel free to do that. I guess first and foremost, I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart just for all of you choosing to use us. I know that we've been working together now for, Blair, how long has it been from the first one? So has it been 3 years or more working with us?
I think so.
Yeah, so.
I know 4 years. 2018, I think.
Oh, yeah, 4 years. That's crazy. So I want you to know that it genuinely means the world to me that y'all choose to use us. I know that we're not as big as all the other vendors that you choose to use. We are a small business, but we pride ourselves on getting as detailed as we can and to ensuring that we're meeting all of your needs. So it really does mean the world to me. I want to go ahead. If y'all can see this, I hope that y'all can see this. There's going to be some small wording. I wonder if I can do that. I can. Okay, cool. So what I'm going to do is I first of all want to introduce someone. Her name is Nicole. I'm going to put her on right now. So hello, Nicole. Can you see
Hi, how's everyone?
So this is Nicole here. This is who's in front of you, by the way, Nicole, along with some other owners. So basically, Nicole is one of our newest performance managers. Her job, which this has been my struggle. I'm going out, I'm meeting with owners. I've got the brains of marketing. I feel like it's just natural to me. And then what we've always struggled with was this middle ground of someone within our business that, like Byron, right? He designs the ads. He's phenomenal at ads, but someone that really goes through all the accounts and ensures that they are going through your accounts to say, are you performing? If you're not performing, why are you not performing? And that's Nicole. Nicole is based out of Waco. Her husband is a recruiting. What does your husband do again? Sorry.
He's in the Texas Army National Guard, and he runs a recruiting team for the largest team in the nation in the Dallas-Fort Worth area.
Right. And so she's based out of Waco, and we ended up bringing her on just because she's got a lot of management experience. She used to run a company. What was the company called?
Mr. Handyman. It's a franchise.
And so she used to manage that completely. And so we're excited to have her. She's got the brains, she's got the oomph, she's got what we know that it takes. And so I wanted you to take a few seconds to be able to say hello to everyone, and I'll bring you off. It's good.
Great. Well, thank you so much. It was a pleasure meeting all of you, and I look forward to working with every one of you. And if there's anything that I can do to help in any way possible, please let me know.
Awesome. Okay. Well, thank you so much. We'll see you soon. You can continue to watch, but I'm going to bring you off there. All right. See you. All right. So what I'm going to do is I wanted to go ahead and go over a couple of things. I'm going to get through some stuff, and then I do want us to have that, Q&A and just kind of bounce some things off. But I wanted to go ahead and go over some new things that we're doing. Again, one thing I want to clarify is this. I understand that all of you are busy. You have businesses. Coming out here to the Woodlands is probably not your favorite thing to do while you're trying to run your business. I 100% understand this. I want you to know the reason why we are doing this very clearly is, number one, a lot of you owners have asked that we do this, that it's better for you to be able to get together, us go over what the latest things that we're offering and what we're doing, and just to be able to have you all perform better. Before we started doing this, for instance, Blair would be doing an ad that was working perfectly for him. It was bringing him goals. And then I'm using this as an example. And then Ken Williams comes on board, and he is not really in the groove. He doesn't really know, what ads he should be doing. He doesn't really understand why he should be doing these certain ads when, for instance, Blair's a huge fan of it. And so the whole goal of this was to get you all together, because in our opinion, like, we're going to grow as fast as we can if we're really coming together and saying, hey, what are you doing? What's working for you? Why is it working for you? And provide the opportunity for you to be able to say, hey, this isn't working for me. And this is what we want to be able to do. And this is how we're doing it. So just understand that's the reason why we're doing this. What we will get better at is showing an agenda, so that way whenever you do show up, you know what's going to happen, okay? So I want to go over a couple of new things that we're going to be doing. Number one, first and foremost thing that we always want to continue to say over and over again is video is way more important and more powerful than images, okay? On digital marketing, on your Facebook, on your Google My Business, on your TikTok, on your Instagram, what we're used to doing, sorry, not TikTok, what we're so used to doing is posting images of a girl hanging out of a window and a sun flare behind her and she's smiling, and that's what we're so used to. But social media every single day is saying, listen, video is so much more important. So what they do is they kick that through the algorithm so much more than they do with imaging. So this is the reason why we continue to come to you and say, please film, please film, please film. We get it. It is probably a hassle for you. It probably seems mundane for you, but video is so important, especially within the ads. Bailey and JJ, our video teams, when they film you, they're going to want to start getting more ad videos as well. So whatever ads you're currently running, you be able to explain what the ad is and why you're doing it, right? We get a lot of comments of, oh, I'm sure they're giving this oil change to screw us over, right? Like, you get all these crazy comments. That video is going to be able to really help mitigate that whole idea, okay? And so again, I want you to understand, why do we do video? It's so much more important to continue to push your algorithm even further utilizing video, okay? TikTok is completely changing the game. We've had discussions about that. We are working within that. We have a couple more owners. Oh, we have 4 others. Can we make room? Give me 1 second. Hey, Byron, if you can stand up. And then also, if we can get more chairs, Byron, if we could ask for more chairs. Three. Okay. There's for you. Chick-fil-A, do you want it? Okay. What's up? Hey, how are you?
Hey, what's up, buddy?
Nice to meet you, bro. Here you go.
Count me in. I'm good.
Of course. Here you go. We're gonna get more chairs. Okay, what's up, Wayne? How are you, sir? Okay, we have one more. One more.
All right. Oh, yeah.
Let's see. There you go, Wayne.
Thank you.
We have a couple of chairs y'all can use. Those chairs right there if you want. There's one more right here too. Okay, bro, quit pushing stuff through. It's on the screen. Okay. I'm about to block you, bro. Okay, so we just started. For those of you who missed, we just covered a few things. I'll cover those back with you as well. But again, TikTok has completely changed the game, where now what you're seeing on feeds is vertical video. And so what you're going to start seeing our videographers do that we don't want you thrown off on is we are going to start moving everything over to vertical videos. It's really strange. It's really weird. I get a lot of you don't even like change like me, right? But what we want to do is what we see is Facebook and Instagram specifically, when they see a vertical style video, they push that out through the algorithm so much further than your traditional 19:6, right? And so, or sorry, 16:9. I just backed that up. So we're going to start doing vertical videos so you fill up the mobile screen a lot more. You see this on social media where now things are hitting even more so into Reels, where it completely covers the entire screen. 98% of people, if you keep texting me, bro, 98% of people are watching it through mobile, so that's the reason why we do that. Let me go on to the next slide. What we are introducing, we're still trying to create a creative name, but this is what I've got so far, so don't judge. But we have heard a lot of our owners have come to us saying, hey, listen, we love green screen. It provides a great way for us to be able to do videos. It's easy. Why do we do green screen? Let me recover this. The reason why we do green screen is because when we go to your shops, phones are ringing, you're being pulled by this employee, that employee. We want to maintain quietness, perfect lighting, all that. That's the reason why we do green screens everywhere. Bailey, for those of you who are not in Houston, what Bailey does is he goes to Denver, for instance. We rent an office for a day. We set up a green screen, a whole studio, and he films every Denver owner the same way we do in Florida, so on and so forth. But what's happened is a lot of owners, there's a few owners that are saying, hey, listen, I would love video that, for instance, Steve is like this, really capturing the heart of my location, the heart of what we're doing. And so we're now introducing a new process for you, a new service for you. We're going to call it mini doc filmings. We call it VIP filmings. We don't know what we're calling it yet. But what's going to happen is we will send our highest level videographer. His name's JJ. He does Netflix films, all that kind of stuff. He actually comes to your location. He's getting drone footage of your location. He's getting B-roll of your actual location. And what he's doing at 6 o'clock at closing, okay, is he's sitting you down in your shop, much like the video you did, Ken, with the home office, right? That style video. What was that video to kind of bring that back up?
I'm 63 years old. I can't remember.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Are you wearing your diaper? Or no. You didn't know you were sandals? Whatever. So what happens is we're going to send this video here, and we're going to do 3 videos of you as the owner. The number 1 is going to be a general heart. This is my general heart of why we love owning this shop, what we do. This could be you and your spouse, you by yourself, however you want to do it. The next video would be an employee environment. We really want to use this video to really push what it's like working for Christian Brothers Automotive to help you with the struggle that all of you are probably having with finding employees. The other one is how are we engaged in the community? What are we doing in the community to really help out the community? And we're going to convey that message into an area of telling your community who's watching, hey, this is what we're doing in the community. I'm giving to this church. And we're not going to do it in a prideful way, of course. We're not, I want you to know I give. We don't do it that way. We're really going to, if, for instance, what I was telling Steve yesterday is whatever you're doing in the community, for instance, you're giving to a church, right? We're going to film that in the manner of maybe bringing the pastor to the studio or to your shop that day and letting him share what they're doing in the community. And the very small part is going to be, yes, and we partner them. Does that make sense? So we really want to highlight what you're doing in the community. The second phase of this, which will all be hopefully within 1 hour, we film all this, okay? The second phase is going to be employees. We want to get 3, if we can, of your core level employees that you know is probably not going to be gone next week, right? And so, service managers, maybe one of your best techs, different things like that. And we're going to have them sit down and really just share their experience / their heart behind what they do and why they do it to kind of bring more of those people out of there. And then the other thing is this, my favorite part is if you have like 3 guests that you know really well that just come to you every single time, no questions asked. And let's just say you have veterans or you have elderly or you have soccer mom, whatever it is, we want to basically bring them on camera as well and be able to show your community their stories and what's going on in their lives and how you play a part in their lives as well. And so amongst other things, we have some owners. There's one guy in Colorado that wants us to actually go and film him doing a community service that he's got lined up when we show up. So we're going to be flexible in that realm as well. So if for instance, the Richie Allen video that we did, right? If hey, we're giving this car away and we want to film this and capture that, we also cover those as well. Okay. And so if you are interested in this, we are still finalizing pricing for Houston. It's going to be a little bit different per region we're in, but we will get back with you. It's good. Okay. Next thing that we're going to be doing is what I kind of wanted your thoughts on. For you as owners, most of you that are in here, you understand why we do what we do. You understand that Google is much different than Facebook. What does Facebook and Instagram provide the opportunity that Google, for instance, doesn't? What is it? It is this. Google is soccer mom searches for, she has a brake job that she needs to get done. She searches, automotive repair near me. Boom, you pop up. Scorpion's great at that, right? You pop up on Google. La-di-da, there it is, right? We know that the conversion is going to be much higher. Everyone who comes in to your shop from Google is probably a 98% chance they're going to come in, no questions asked, get the repair done. They came in from Google. Facebook is providing us this way to bring people into your shop who didn't even think about you. Why? Because they've been so used to, for instance, going to the Lexus dealership year after year that they don't even question where they're going to get their oil change, where they're going to get their transmission work, whatever, right? And so what we're trying to do is bring in this mindset utilizing Facebook that, hey, here we are. This is also some of the ways that we're better than dealership. We can get you out quicker. Our service is much better, whatever you offer, right? And we present that in front of them. We bait them in. This is the difference between Google and Facebook and Instagram. Google, you don't necessarily have to bait anybody, right? But on Facebook and Instagram, you're trying to say, hey, come to us, come to us. So you have to bait them in. They end up coming in, and what has to happen is that is your one and only opportunity to roll out the red carpet for those customers or those guests to come in, right? And show them how great you really are, right? Show them the nice difference. And so then it's up to us to turn that guest into a second experience, into the third experience, and ultimately turning them into just a natural reoccurring guest. That's our goal. The reality that we have learned is the hardest part that we have is not working with you as owners. It's not. That is not our hard point. I feel like all of you owners, you understand our mindset. That's why you're continuing to stay with us, because you know what we're doing. The hardest part is getting your service manager and everyone that's in your front counter to grasp that same idea. I can't tell you how many times I hear the same thing. One location, for instance, they just told me, he may be watching, so I'm not going to call names, but they said, hey, I want to use you, but our service team is saying not to use you because all you do is you bring in people looking for deals. And it's like, yeah, that is all we do. You know what I mean? Like that is what we do. But what they're not seeing is that we're turning these people into the reoccurring guest. We're targeting these people, for instance, for some of you, to the top 50% income level. So our mindset, we want to kind of translate this into your team. So here's what we want to do from here on out is we want to host virtual and in person trainings, right? Where your service manager could come here, your team can come here, virtually or in person, to where we go over very quickly within 30 to 45 to an hour long, where we go over the whole mindset of why do we do what we do and what is the best practices. Go over the top of mind mindset, right? Go over why do we actually do this, rolling out the red carpet, and also going over the best practices as far as texting, right? And so I have two questions for you. Is A, knowing that your service department or your service team is busy, we don't mind doing this after hours as well, but I don't know if that's something that you're trying to ask your team for. So my question is when is the best time that we could get the majority of your team to come to our office? I'm talking about the majority of everyone's team, not your whole location. What would be a good day? Like when y'all do this for the home office and y'all send people there, what days do y'all go in times? Like what's the easiest way to be able to do that?
They just schedule it.
We do training after hours.
Okay.
Every few months for
Okay.
technicians.
We typically do like a 6:30. There's a 6 o'clock start time. They'll have some dinner on site.
Okay.
Take 30 minutes to kind of, if you're going to be late, if you're going to eat,
Right.
all that. 6:30 training starts, a couple hours.
Okay.
Max. That's for technical training too.
I would do it.
Like when they go to the home
I
office?
would do a north side of town advisor training
Okay.
and a south side of town
Yeah.
advisor training.
Yeah.
No, it would be other vendors. So like XL Parts
Okay.
offers what typically happens is the industry has vendor-led training.
Okay.
Keep the market up on dials, on
Okay.
all the stuff. And then we asked Excel to do it just for Christian Brothers, because some of our team members had to potentially get poached out of those
Yeah.
classes by the owners showing them
Okay.
businesses. So we got CBA only
Yeah.
trainings by Excel, for instance. And our team members just go after hours.
Okay. So we would do it like at a 6. Well, you'll close at 6. So you.
I was gonna say, service advisors can't be there by 6.
Well-
Service team, because you're.
Well, we're not saying the whole service team, he's saying 1 or 2 guys at a time. So if you send one guy, like we'll have 2 techs go to a training of our 7-man crew, and we let them leave at 5:30. They get an hour to leave out, get there, have some food, go see, and be part of the event. Something like
Wouldn't
that.
it be more beneficial to have your whole service team there?
Right. So I would love for everyone to understand this mindset, because this is the biggest struggle that we have. Like, owners want to run a 1995 oil change, and teams will constantly come back and say, no, we don't want to run the 1995 oil change, because they just simply don't understand the mindset of what we're doing. And so what we want to offer you is, hey, we are willing to sit down with y'all's teams and really go over again, like, why we're doing this. So I don't mind doing it after hours. I don't mind doing it.
You want to do multiple classes so we can send them.
Right.
We can send part of the office at this date, another part.
Okay. So are Wednesdays better? I know Fridays and Mondays are horrible, right? So is Wednesdays probably the best day?
Tuesdays and Wednesdays.
Okay. Is there either one of those? Tuesdays or Wednesdays? Yeah, either or. And is it so like Wednesday at 6 p.m.? But then you're also having to pay your team.
Okay.
Yeah, overtime. Okay. Okay. So what we'll do is we'll get that going probably within the next month or so. We'll offer our first one, and we'll take note also of handling one on, north side and south side to kind of make it easier for y'all's teams as well. And we'll go from there. So awesome. And so that's where we want to go over that as well. So let me click next. Okay. These are March statistics. Now, just to make this clear, I got all of your permissions to basically allow us to put this in here. What this is calculating is the return off of reoccurring and the initial visits. Okay. And so we ranked them as well. I only did that just so you could kind of get an idea of where everyone's at as far as, performance level and what's going on. But the great thing is, and I could send this to you as well. We see the majority of our locations are actually getting a great return. And we obviously want it to be better. I mean, we have seen returns as high as $24,000, $30,000 of monthly ROI. And so what I want to encourage us to do is I want us to continue to top. Nicole's job is to look at, she has emergency accounts, which means anyone that is below $2,000, her job is to make sure she's getting on a call with y'all, what's going on, looking into the system, working with Byron, what can we do as far as the ads team, and going from there. And then the next thing she does is she moves to the 3,000s. How do we get you higher? The 4,000s. How do we get you higher? And so anyways, these are the statistics for most of ours that we had data from. Now, sometimes, like, we're missing a lot. We're probably missing another 15, 20 locations because we're still waiting on sometimes the home. Each coach, by the way, your marketing coaches are the ones that send us that data every month. So sometimes we don't get that on time. And it's, yeah. So
how's that, it's sourced and that's how you determine?
Yeah. So no, it's not sourced. We do not rely on you sourcing because, yeah. So what we do is every lead who comes through, we make that person fill out name, phone number, email. Okay. When that person comes in, they provide, it's by 3 terms, name, phone number, and email. If they miss up on one of those, we don't count that. Okay. So that's the reason why, and I want to tell you all this, and I know that's kind of hard for you to ask, hey, what email did you use on the Facebook ad, right? What phone number did you use on? Because sometimes they'll bring you a different email. I have 3 emails myself, right? So sometimes I'm like, well, I want you to go to my spam email. So this email, right? So, but that's how we calculate that is we see, okay, boom, this person came in the initial visit. We know when they clicked the ad and we know when they came in. That's usually a 3-day delay. That's our average, which is great. We want to get that closer, but 3 days is the average that clients come in or guests come in. Then we match them to all 3. We download that data, and then our team goes in. April and another guy that we have, Peter, he goes in and he matches all that data. So that's where that comes from. And all of these are on your reporting system online. Okay. we have data and we know that most of you are not signing into that reporting system. And I just want you to know it's very, very helpful for you. Here in a minute, I could share and show you what that looks like. But if you need help signing into your portal on our website, it gives you all real-time data. You can see what you did back in February. You can see what you did here. It gives you every piece of information you'll ever need. What ad did I run at that time? How much did I spend? Any point of data that you need. You can also download it on your iPhone or your phone as an app, and you could click right in as well. Go ahead.
So what does that look like on the results versus the ad run, the spend?
Right.
There are three, because nobody, you've got to figure out what are the 3 or 4 or 5 things that are driving that.
Right, and that's where in your reporting dashboard, it walks you through all that. There's no way for us simply to be able to go in here and kind of really show, which I guess we could actually add spin. That would probably help, but we just put the name and the actual return. But we can, on your specific dashboard, it shows you how much you spent and all that. I can put a ranking list together of, okay.
Well, I just sent Byron an email asking for next time or later add on the percentage of ROI that you received compared to your spend. So if we said you spent 1,000, you earned 2,000, that's your 100% growth on that. So
is that the main variable? Is the spend that drives it?
yeah. So like I'm number 3 on the list. I spent $1,000 that month in Zion ads.
Can I use yours, Blair?
Probably just the minimum, whatever it is.
Do you mind if I use yours, Blair?
You got $1,200 for zero. You can put whatever
Sorry.
for me up. I don't care.
Okay.
This is Blair.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Because we're
Y'all
both short, we
all
alike.
look
Is that what
the
you said?
same.
You said we look alike because we're short. That's me, man. The ankles, everybody looks the same down here. It's real nice.
I will say something about the freaking show you cut off. No, I didn't say that.
Okay.
Whoops.
So this is Fairfield's right here. This is what the dashboard looks like. Okay. If you see with Fairfield, he also has. Actually, I'm on the admin. But what you would be able to do and what you're able to do is click that button and it'll bring you Tomball if you own multiple locations. Okay. And so what happens is, this is the data that we have. Let me make sure. So this is all time. So we can do, for instance, last 30 days, you could apply. So the date is very, very easy to walk through. We show the ratio. Blair, this is what you asked for, the ratio, right? That we added there. And then down here, what you have is the total monthly, which is what I just showed you. Okay. This is the total, which combines initial and reoccurring. Okay. We can show you how many total people came in from the Facebook ad only, which his is 65. So we show, 65 people came in. Then we go even deeper. We show, initial people who came in, or the amount of money that came in is 30 or 3,300. And then the recurring that came in was 949. So here's what happens with this is we're taking that reoccurring guest and we want to make sure that they're coming back in. And that's what locations that we have, we have a lot of locations that have, thank God, focused on that reoccurring visit. I tell people all this time, if you hire Zion for the initial visit, for people just to bring a car in, you are wasting money. You are absolutely wasting money. Zion should never be looked at as, they just bring money in, right? Like we need to focus on the idea of getting that customer back in with the future text messages. And so that is a number that we always love to see, is that reoccurring is much higher than your initial. Okay, then we break it down into the visit. He had 27 initial people come in, and then he had 38 reoccurring people come in. We always want reoccurring, again, to be higher, higher, higher. Then we go down into what ad he ran at that specific time, how they came in. We go into, with these lines, it breaks it down into reoccurring guests came in 38. The ads that ran, the actual results per ad. So here's what's cool too is Byron and the ads team, they're creating different ads. And this is where you're going to be able to see, the guy illegally hanging out a window while he's driving is what brought more people in. Okay. And so we show you there. We go down even further into the posts that we actually make. You can see all the posts that we made. Now remember, we do every other one is video. We're having internal discussions on if we change that. We may change it to every week again, but what we were seeing is that there's video of Jeremy, and what the engagement started going down. So what we started doing is every other video we would stagger. Okay, so you get all of that. I'm going to go over what we want to do with posts here in a little bit, but I just want you all to see that. Then you come down into your current metrics for that period as well. Okay, so you're going to see here that the total reach. Today, oh, the 13th. I was like, why did it go down like that? Anyways, let's calculate it today. But you see that the total reach, what you're reaching, you see by age, what is his majority age that he is reaching naturally. This is not something that we force. This is something that we're seeing come in. The gender, he has a lot of, and he also has some unspecified genders, which is cool. We also have engagements. We walk you through all this. So if you need help getting into this system, reach out to our team. And what our team will do is our team will walk you through exactly how that will all work. Okay, good. Let me get back to this really quick. And we'll get into this. Okay. So what we're suggesting is $300 or more. It used to be at $250, but what we want to do is we want to move higher just because we're seeing, hey, the more you spend, obviously the better result that you get. And so we're bringing our minimum ad spend up from $250 to $300. And then we're also wanting you to add this. We're wanting you to add a boosting ad spend as well, because what we want to do with all 4 posts that we do for you, we want to actually go in and boost those for $25 each. So that way we get the best engagement for that as well. What we're able to do with that boosted post is take the video of Rob, for instance, and take that video out and push it to his community that don't like the page, just as an ad works, okay? And so if, the ads team comes to you and says, hey, can you spend an extra 100? Or if you just want to email our team now and say, go ahead and add an extra 100 for boosting, we'll notate that on your internal account we have and make sure that we're boosting those posts as well, okay? Again, really quick, I want to go over this, and we're almost done on this part. This is how we, Nicole, for instance, as a performance manager, our ads team as a performance manager, what they do when you call for a problem. Let's just say you're having a conversion problem. You're getting a lot of leads. You're getting 80 leads per month, right? But you're saying, bro, like 3 people are coming in. What's going on? We look at a low conversion. So right here, this is low performing. We look at it and we say, okay, this is the ad that's just not performing at all. We've gotten 4 leads. What's going on this month? Okay, why do we get 4 leads when we're used to getting 80 leads, for example? So what we see here is, okay, our formula is 3 things to look at immediately. How is your budget? Are we spending more than $3 a day on an ad? If you come to us saying, hey, we want to spend $1 a day on an ad, we guarantee you that's not going to work. So $3 or more a day on an ad. We usually like to have like oil change ads to be over $8.92 a day, $8.92 a day. We want you to be over that. The demographics, we're going to look at that. So for instance, some of you, Blair, for instance, Blair was running an ad. It was performing really well. He called us and he says, hey, I need to raise my demographic up to the top 50% income level, okay, during a discussion we had. So we put it to the top 50% income level. Well, then what happened to his lead count? His lead count cut in half. Why? Because you're targeting just now 50% of that demographic, the top 50%. So we look at that. That may be a reason. What do we do in that case? We probably going to come to you and say, will you spend more so we could reach more of that demographic? Number 2, the area, right? So up in Michigan, or Igor, what's Igor's location? Igor, do you know Igor?
Illinois.
He's in Illinois. So we have Michigan location, Illinois location, but things like that. For instance, in Chicago, I think it was, correct me if I'm wrong.
Chicago, I think.
He has a location on one side of the river.
Yeah. Chicago.
Okay. But then on this side of the river, it apparently takes you, even if you lived right across the river, it takes you apparently about an hour to get to him. Okay. So what we started noticing was like, bro, his lead count was horrible. And we started realizing, well, wait a minute. And we asked him, we were like, how long does it take these people to get from this side of the river to here? And he goes, oh, about an hour. And I said, so do you even want to target this area? And he goes, absolutely not. So we ended up moving and getting his correct demographic, but those are the type of deals as well as far as area. And then the offer. Is it aggressive or is it not? And here's the reality. We're not trying to push you to be fully aggressive either. What we are simply saying is, if you want to run a less aggressive ad, expect to spend more. And if that's your cup of tea and it's working for you, then let's go with it, right? But if you want more and more people to come in, then better baits obviously make your ads cheaper as well, okay?
Who talked about the coverage, the areas that the ads are covered?
You could call our team at any time. You could schedule a meeting and we can go over, he's bitter. You could go over your demographics if that's a concern for you. But what I will tell you is that we have your protected territories that were sent to us.
But Kyle, one thing that you may want to do is some folks don't have the access to that portal. We probably received it at some point in the past, we submitted.
Right.
Can you send that out to all of us?
Well, so the thing is we can't necessarily send it out, but what we can do is they'll just reset your password and then that will have you log in and I'll just say just go ahead and do that. So does everybody in this room want a reset on your password or do you?
No.
You have it? Okay. So what I would just do to keep it official is if you need to regain access, will you email the team? So that way we just know exactly so we don't drop the ball. Okay. It's team@ziondoesitbetter.com.
One thing when you change your demographic, I noticed is when you change that, you're playing with your ads, right? And also your ticket averages, they're going to fluctuate too. Because you have that clientele coming in. And it's all you're just playing and trying to figure out
Right.
stuff.
And I'll tell you all this too. Keep in mind, and I'll put this over here. I'm going to switch this over really quick to there. I'm going to take this off for a minute. Okay, so keep in mind this, guys. This is the services that I want to make blatantly clear that I've realized we need to kind of clarify. Is if you have Springs location right here. Can everyone see this?
No.
Okay.
Where's the Woodlands on that?
Sorry?
Where's the Woodlands on that?
Woodlands is, let's Spring Stutner, for instance. Woodlands is right here, okay?
Make that bubble a little bigger.
Okay, good. So if you have the Woodlands area, the Spring area right here, we have noticed that some people have said recently, we had an owner expressing concern, saying that we just serve regionally. I want to clarify this for all of you. We focus more importantly to anything on localized. That's what we want you to understand, is that we're not just going to give you a stock photo. We don't want to do this. We want to use video. We want to get down into a community instance, okay? So here's what happens is if you have this area, and for instance, you have an apartment complex, just using that as an example, that is just notorious to bring you the wrong clientele, okay? For whatever reason. Please understand that we can come in and we can exclude that apartment complex specifically, okay? What I want to get into even more with all of you, okay, and my ads team's going to hate this, but I'm just going to do it like this. But you have, for instance, the Falls, and then you have, give me another one, Blair. You have all these minor communities in your area, okay? Imperial Oaks, Harmony, and all that. So you have these communities. The best way for us to be as best effective as possible is for you to do an ad speaking directly to the Falls. Okay, this is where we love playing around because it's so much more effective. So an Atascocita. So what's right behind your an Humble? That
wall,
huge
Eagle Springs.
yeah. So Eagle Springs, for instance, right? Eagle Springs, I would say, is a prime territory for you, right? And so if Eagle Springs is right here, what I want Ken to do is here in the office, film, hey, Eagle Springs, we're here. And what we're going to do in the graphics is we're going to put Eagle Springs community only, okay? And what happens is we're targeting a hyper-target ad just straight to Eagle Springs. And here's what's crazy is just like you do, anytime that you're on Facebook and you see a car wreck in front of HEB and there's someone took a photo and put it on Facebook, you're going to stop and look. Why? Because you're familiar with that. So we're gaining a lot off of familiarity. So what we're doing here is we're coming in and we're saying, let's target this, let's target that. That's what we want to do for you. Okay, so I just want to make that blatantly clear that we're not just regional. Yes, we support the co-op as a regional base and we want to help you with that, but we want to get as far down to the actual communities to be able to help bringing in as many people as possible, or excluding certain areas as well. Okay, so there's over 50,000 ways that we have to target people, and so we just want to make that kind of clear. Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
So like on the Eagle Springs example, so if I go driving through there, am I going to get that on my?
You will, yeah.
Okay.
My wife just posted. Y'all are probably not all friends with her, but we just moved to Willis. Okay, so my wife now drives through. We take our baby to little school. We go through Spring, the Woodlands. We'll go to the Woodlands Mall. We'll drive, and the only one we don't get one that's on the way to home, but we get every single person's ads when she's actually driving through, and she was impressed. Well, so what? Oh, right. I know that's true, actually. But we used to live in just the Falls, so we would just get Blair's ads all the time. But we kind of expected it. But it's crazy how everywhere we drive, for those of you who choose to do everybody in, remember there are 3. Am I right, Byron? There's 3 terms to search people or to target people in. 1, 2, 3. 1 is everyone. Okay, so everyone that's in that location. Okay, 2 is lives in, and 3 is traveling, right? So our helicopter tour agency in New York City, right? They're not trying to get everyone who lives there because they're not going to go take a New York tour. We're only doing people who their IP address shows up and IP address says, hey, we've never been here in the last 4 months. And then Facebook triggers and says, boom, put this out in front of them. So here's what I am a huge fan of all of your locations to pick number 1. Why do we pick number 1? We pick number 1 because people who work in your area and people who live in your area. Okay, I live right next to Kyle Cordell, his location, the, what do y'all call that, Montgomery? Okay, but it's not convenient for me because I have to kind of go to the right, whatever, but I'm driving right past the Woodlands, for instance, every single day now. Players not. I used to go to him when I was He's like, that's where you went.
So you shop at Jeff's store?
I'm not going to disclose this info. I actually use Kyle Cordell, so it's good. But yeah, so what we do is we hit everyone in there because right now I'm in my Spring office, technically, so we should be getting his ads. If Facebook depicts it, you should be getting the ads.
Can you choose 2 out of 3? Number 2 or 3 and eliminate number 1?
So
you choose 2 of those.
So that would be a technical everyone in this location. Or can you get?
So 1 and 2 can be in the same one. And then we can select people who just have lived in those areas. So like they have a house there and don't necessarily just.
Can you take
work
photos
in
from
the area,
outside?
But
Yeah. So we can deal with the create. So yeah, we can get super specific of how we target for sure. Okay, so the formula. Let me rush through this because we're kind of running out of time. What time is it? Okay, 15 minutes. Okay, so here's what we do as far as the formula on low conversions. Okay, if you are still having problems with conversions, we are here to help you. Number 1, low conversion. We see a demographic. Okay, what is the demographic? What do we mean by that? If you're getting a lot of leads, but not a lot of people are coming in, we're trying to figure out, well, why? Okay, so for instance, Papacitos or Papados is not necessarily trying to get the lower income level people, correct? Right? Papacitos is a little bit more higher of an income. Okay, Perry's Steakhouse, prime example, right? It's not trying to read. So are we getting a lot of people who are like, shoot, I want to go to Perry's Steakhouse, but then when it comes down to it, they're not coming in because they simply can't afford it, right? So that's a demographic issue of why we may not be converting as far as low conversions. Second part that we figured out is that Facebook has your phone number from 10 years ago when you first created your Facebook. When you fill out the form, that phone number pops up and you hit enter. So what we did is we took away that phone number because a lot of you were saying, hey, every time we're reaching out to these people, they're not answering, right? And so what we did is we took that away and we made sure they manually entered their info. So there's a lot of tricks that we can use to ensure that conversion works. Number 2 is the personal text. We're changing this, okay? The text used to be really, really long, right? Hey, Kyle, this is Pam, the owner of Christian Brothers Automotive. I just want to say hello. Thank you so much for responding to our post. We're so excited to see you. You responded to this ad, and this is when we're open from 9 to or blah, blah, blah. And it's just this huge. So now what we do is we say, hey, Kyle, this is Pam, the owner of Christian Brothers Automotive. I see you responded to our post. When would you like to come in? Okay. I was actually talking, which I'd like y'all's thoughts on this. I was actually talking to Josh Parnell about this. And one thing that he was saying that he trains your teams on is not to ask them, not to put it in their court, but to actually suggest 2 ways that we actually, or 2 different times. Is that something that y'all would like us to put in those texts? Well, actually, we couldn't do that on automation. Never mind. We're going to stay with the plan A for right now. But that's what he was telling me. I just want to make sure that that's for
Let me ask a slightly different question. Can we actually make it so that the appointments that are available are Tuesday, Wednesday morning and afternoon? Could we make it that specific so that they couldn't actually just schedule something whenever?
And how we all know what this.
Well, we can make that. Well, yeah. So that's where it's going to get hard. But we can make that automated text say whatever the heck you want it to say. So we can say, hey, we have openings Tuesday and Wednesday. What times are available for you? And just hope to God if they say 4 o'clock, we could just look at it. I mean, yeah, we can do something like that if you wanted to. Yeah. I would just be afraid at that point, like Tuesdays and Thursdays for me may be busy, right? I don't know. But
So to Steve's point, we can track our business. Every Wednesday and Thursday are down for us. Monday and Tuesday
Right.
are money makers. Friday we're catching up.
right.
And Wednesday and Thursday is always down. So we can have them, we could force that to pick those days up. That's a really
I would say for sure test it. If you wanted to test it and jeopardize possibly losing the amount of people coming in, possibly, let's do it. I mean, I think it's, a great, and we can have that discussion too, for sure.
You can also do the option closing, train your service manager representative on the phone to use that as an opportunity to present that idea, like, hey, we've got availability on Wednesdays and Thursdays,
Right.
and then you're not necessarily limiting yourself, but you're training your team to kind of push that as the agenda.
Right.
Wednesdays and Thursdays.
Yeah. And that's where, we really do want to be custom per location, because what works for, Blair is not going to work for Jeremy. What works for Jeremy is not going to work for Ken, right? We always want to stay as custom as possible, but that's just where I want you to understand Scion does have your back on that. I mean, I've been on the phone with Jeremy with Simple Texting, the third party that we use to help try to figure out more automations, which, by the way, I almost forgot to tell you about that. We now have capabilities to add responders if they don't respond. Okay, so if we send out a text that says, hey, Jimmy, this is Kyle, the owner of Zion. When would you like to come in? And I ghost you. I don't respond for another 2 hours. We can set a perimeter of a time slot to say if he doesn't respond in 2 hours, we'll retext that person with like a general, like, hey, just let us know, right? To kind of help with that as well. And that could be custom to you. We're also obviously going to suggest, like, we would like to see that within an hour or so, just, because we don't want too much time to pass. But if you're saying, hey, we want that to be 3 minutes afterwards, we're going to do that for you if that's what you ask as well. So if you want those kind of services, let me know. Really quick as well. I am always, and as well as Nicole, we are always more than happy to jump on a call or Zoom with any of you at any time. I mean, I'm meeting with a lot of owners a lot, right? Nicole's meeting with a lot of owners a lot. If you need us to go over your specific what's happening, right, then let us know. Go ahead.
How do we get that set up?
The call?
No, the new process to do the automated non-responder.
Right. So you could either email team, and you could say, hey, I want that autoresponder to kick on, an hour later, and we'll just go ahead and we'll set that
I'd
up
like
for
to
you.
see it that way. If we want to do something different in the future, we know
Yeah.
how to manage it. Can I have that?
Of course.
Send it to the team and somebody will call.
Right. And also understand that there's so much more features even within that platform that we've gone over, right? You can have someone join a keyword, and what will happen is once they join the keyword, it triggers immediately. Like if you had someone in your shop, you can have them join that keyword, and we can now send them messages, let's just say every 3 months, or we could say, like what we do for our church, for instance, is we say a week after they, or actually it's 6 days after they opt in, text them a reminder to come to church. Then 3 days from there, send them this video. I mean, we could get as custom as you want for that kind of stuff. Why are you smiling?
Who do you sit just sounded? Hey, don't forget you need to come to church that
I
Sunday
know.
morning.
You got to get them in.
It's just different, you know.
Hey, I'm the bomb at church marketing. We're getting 10 people at least per week to churches with our ministry first approach app. Though, if you'll go to church, how many more people? It's good. Okay, just saying. Okay, really quick, we do have our text training that we designed and developed specifically for y'all. What happens is you can go to ziondoesitbetter.com/text, and that ridiculous. And what that will do is that has overview videos. Y'all remember when I used to have hair? That was good.
The real one or fake one?
That was fake hair. Isn't that cool? Look at it. It's like,
Just a question.
anyway. So if you need that text training, go tell them to see Kyle with long hair at that point. And we have literally all of those videos for you. That goes over how to set up autoresponders, triggers, all that kind of stuff as well. Okay?
Question regarding texting, my apologies.
Yeah. Oh, of course.
I might not know this, but with the simple texting, when I get a notification or a text or something like that, it doesn't like blink on the bar. Is there something I can do to change that or fix that? Or?
So I asked Simple Texting about that, and they give me what I kind of expected was, it's really kind of up to y'all's browser, your computer settings, blah, blah, blah. We are more than happy to jump through that with you. I will say that the easiest thing to do is, and it kind of gets annoying, is you can set it up on either a phone number or an email. We walk through this as well, but every single time an incoming text comes through, you can have it hit an email, which would then alert you. And that's a guaranteed way. Or I could input your phone number, but then that gets into overnight, you're probably going to be getting those same text messages.
I want to explore that because we were talking about conversion earlier, and I think that's something that gets missed is you're busy at a humdrum and you don't look at it, and then hours later you're like, oh man, I got stuff that's been on here.
Yeah.
How's there a cost for some of that?
Yes, they do it based off of credits. The average cost, what is Brad give us?
It's got a minimum of $25 a month, and then the credits cost.
I think it's wholesale. Y'all have like 19.
Yeah, but
I think it's
20.
$21.
I took a lot of messages, and I might pay $50 a month.
Now, but you have locations that are scheduling messages out, and they're paying a little bit more. But
Yeah, I pay 50, and I schedule up to 5 messages per RO being sent out.
yeah,
Follow-up message to get my customers to come back.
it's really based off of the amount of credits you use, which I'm going to tell you.
So I don't know what that means.
So when you're with simple texting, I don't know how they break. I have to get that detail, but they break it down based off of credits. So like one MMS message, which is usually like a larger message from an iPhone, costs 3 credits. An inbound message is a credit, I think. An outbound message, SMS, which is like the green. Okay, that's 2 credits, right? So they base it off of credits, and depending on how long they are as well. So you're paying $24 a month for, 500 credits, okay? So based off of now, then what happens is when you schedule messages and those start hitting out, then your credits go up, and then I think they'll just go ahead and bill you for the over. For sure, yeah. But I suggest that we take texting to a completely different level. Like if I could beg all of you and your teams to understand one point, just like I showed you in those reports, my goal is to have the recurring amount of money much higher than your initial. If you're running here's my phone. If you're running a $9.95 oil change times 20, what is that? Can someone do the math? $9.95 times 20, whatever that is, okay? $200. I would be really happy seeing $200 in. You know why? Because for me, it showed me you rolled out the red carpet. You didn't try to upsell them and push them. I know all of you have different philosophies on trying to do that process, but then if you see a $19,000 reoccurring is just growing like crazy, then that shows me that we're getting those people in, and those are turning into your recurring guests. That's my goal. So when people call me like my initial is only $2,400 and my reoccurring's 17, I'm like, that's amazing. Because number one, you turn somehow some of those initials into some business, right? And number two, so that's my goal for y'all. And we're always with the simple texting system, that's what's going to change that life. But these are also really quick. I won't go over this. I know I go over a lot, but these are templates that we have for you to be able to use to kind of, if you want to be able to send those out. And we have locations that are sent. They have like 20 different templates. I'm not a fan of that, but however that works with you. Okay. The reporting system, again, we have the app and the dashboard. Okay. So any questions that you have, if you need us to reset your password and help you get joined into that again, let our team know. We will help you as well. Okay. We also updated our phone hours from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. Our phones were at 9 to 5, but I started missing sales calls for my truck, so I moved it up to 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. But that also means that you can call, and my wife will probably answer those late calls because my team will. It's going to be great. Okay. Any questions on anything that I went over on that part? Okay, let me put this back up and we can kind of go ahead and talk if you want to look at numbers. So, number one, so what we'll do is we're going to start having those meetings for all of your teams. We'll start pushing that out, next month. We're going to probably plan on Wednesday, and then that's going to be after 6 p.m., correct? Or should we do it like at 7 p.m.?
We don't want to make it so late that the team members are going to
I
get
know.
like crazy late hours.
I
So
know.
that's why we typically say do it at a dinner time so they can eat at that time. We're fine to let them off 30 to an hour earlier to drive.
So you think 6:30 is a good time?
I think 6 o'clock dinner, 6:30 start time. That way if somebody's running late,
Okay.
they can't get out of the shop to finishing a ticket,
Okay.
and they can just eat while the training's going. But for the most part, you're getting people congregating, socializing, and eating in that first 30 minutes, and they can be late, and then you go from there.
Okay.
Are you going to offer that virtually too?
Yeah, we will always, all of our meetings, even these, are virtually. I, of course, love being in person because I want to be able to sit down with all of you if I need and be able to go over things, but we will always do virtually like this as well.
What do you think about 6 o'clock and 6:30 start time?
Maybe an hour and a half.
Well, we can.
No, we'll do a
If you do
south.
from the south, then yeah.
But what is a central south location?
Yeah, that would work.
Downtown?
Is that okay?
Yeah, because otherwise our train's an hour and a half up here, so.
So what's a central area for
You're
y'all?
talking about trying to capture
League City.
Space Center, Pearland, Friendswood.
Yeah.
Shadow Creek. So I would say the Friendswood area.
Friendswood probably the
Yeah.
center
Yeah.
for that Rosenberg.
Pearland,
Friendswood
Friendswood.
area.
Yeah.
Stormy, are you on? Can you hear me, Stormy?
I'd say Pearland actually, probably, because you got
Or Nicole?
Rosenberg and all of that.
No, wait.
Nicole, I know I can't hear you, but if you can write down the team meetings. Here, I'm going to put you on real quick. Is that okay? Okay, she fixed her hair. Okay, hey, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. For these team trainings, what we want to do is we want to do, did we say Friendswood? Pearland. We want to do the Pearland area. We need to find like a training room of some sort, or maybe like Spring Creek Barbecue, because they have those little rooms, but to where we do those trainings. And then up north, what is your thoughts?
I'm fine with here. I mean,
For this side of town, do it here. For this
Okay.
side of town.
Our office is for north, but we do need to have a separate training in Pearland.
I would reach out.
Okay. And this is for simple texting?
No, this is for overall, like the mindset of why we're doing what we're doing and just best practices. The other thing too, Nicole, is we want to also put in,
So they do it third week somewhere.
yeah, we could do the home office too.
Yeah, but you're
Okay.
an hour here right now.
How far is corporate?
Sorry, you're an hour here right now, but think about like 4.
I was going to tell you, sorry. 6 o'clock dinner. Can you hear me?
Yes.
6 o'clock dinner.
Okay.
6:30 showtime.
Gotcha.
And then anyone who's watching virtually, if you're in other cities or states, we will do a virtual training that you can join as well. That will be at that same time.
Okay.
Hey, Blair, what about your corporate office centralized for everyone?
Okay.
It's about 45 minutes from our shop to the corporate office.
As would be for Joe, that might.
It's an hour for me from Conroe to Katy.
So do we land on Pearland, 6:00 dinner, 6:30
Start.
thing? 6:30 to 7:30?
Yeah.
Is that okay? Okay. And then we'll have the northern one up here, and what we'll do them probably back to back, and then we'll send you out those. We're probably going to start next month. Now, I know we're going to get emails and what is this for again and all that. I just want to restate the mindset is we really want to ensure that your full team understands why we are doing this and the best practices to make sure that we're getting the best input. Because here's what's happening: we are seeing $24,000 to $30,000 ROIs at times because your team is taking it serious and they don't have that mindset of just Google, right? And I'm not mad at your teams at all. I mean, the biggest pushback we get is teams, right? We're not mad. We just understand it's just the they're not used to this. Go ahead.
A portion needs to be on mindset, but we're the owners. We're going to control what's happening in our businesses for the most part.
Right.
And we can be preaching mindset as well. There needs to be actual training so that it's not just, okay, we know the concept behind what we're supposed to do and
Right.
why.
But how to do
We need
it.
to walk them through how the setups work,
Yep.
how to do templates,
Yep.
how to respond to customers, the theory behind the 1 hour follow-up, and actually show it on a screen so that when our guys come back to our shops, they understand the system better. The system is extremely robust for what it is.
Right.
It's not just a simple text
Right.
for being called simple text.
Right.
It's not
Right,
like your phone program where you're sending back and forth text.
Yeah.
There's a lot to it. There's campaigns, there's ads, there's
Right.
templates. So we need our teams to understand better how to use it so that they got a comfort level to
Right.
be successful at the program once they understand the mindset.
Anyone that's joining via online, I can see your staff, Janetta. Sorry, I always mess up her name. I see your comments. West Frisco training would need to be after hours as well. Yes. So what we'll do is we will absolutely hold those virtually, probably for you. We actually do have a lot of DFW locations, so I actually don't mind even going up there because I need to see clients anyway. So we can talk about doing a Dallas version as well. But go ahead. Who was both of
So
you?
are we talking like hour and a half meetings?
Yeah. So if we do a 6:00 dinner, we'll do a 6:30 start time, 7:30 end time. Now, if any owners, and obviously owners can come too, but if any team members wanted to stay afterwards just for thorough training, we're more than happy to do that. Also, again, at any time that your teams need us to go on Zoom calls with you, they need to pick up the phone. Listen, I don't want Zion's phone line just to be ringing from owners all the time. If your team members need to call us for any reason, they're having trouble or whatever, our whole team our phones ring at the same time. So we're really there to help you as well. Okay. Go ahead.
Remember, there was a video that you had posted, a training video that our staff could look at and follow along to learn how to use this. Have you added any new content, any new training videos to that?
So
because the whole thing is, if we have some time more
Right.
down, they can just click in there and
Yeah.
just sharpen up.
Nicole, if you can, in our next staff meeting as well, what I'll probably do is I'll make sure that we're doing like bi-weekly trainings.
Okay.
Of just, things that we're noticing, right? And the problem, or not the problem is, but the majority of the training for the teams is not the ads or anything. It's really the simple texting.
Right.
And there's sometimes only so much we can go over. Now, I haven't made a video, to your point, on the 1 hour or 2 hour delays yet, right?
Okay.
But ultimately, that's not something they could set up. That's us,
Yeah.
right? Like that's our
Well,
automations
the other thing
team,
is, record the meetings that you're gonna do since you're doing on web anyway.
right?
And then let's have those 1 hour sessions.
Is any information, my service manager just got good with
Right.
our system just by going to that one video to show them how to use the simple text
Right.
system. And, but if there's more content that can be added with more up-to-date
Right.
changes that have taken
Yeah.
place, then all this training and everybody sending people.
Yeah.
will be-
And one thing that we can do is even if it's once a month, our team, what we'll do is in our staff meetings that we have here every Monday, we'll go over, hey, what are we going to go over for this next month, right? Because, we have a heck of a lot more other clients as well, private clients that could benefit from the same type of stuff. So what we'll do is we'll probably do it monthly. I feel like that's a little bit more practical. And we'll just, as a team, figure out, like if Byron's like, hey, we developed this new process, then we'll release that out. And that video may be, hey, we're introducing 1 hour delay messages. You can't set it up, but we can. This is what it does, how it does, why we do it. If you want this, let us know. Right. So that it may not be a training, but whatever. Now, really quick, we have moved y'all's filmings to, is it every 5 weeks or every 5 months or 6 months? To every 6 months, because we noticed a lot of you were like, hey, I cannot film every quarter, right? My question is this. Y'all said once a month y'all wanted these meetings. But one meeting we had 2 people show up. This is the largest that we've had in a while. So my question is, how can we, do you feel like they're needed once a month? Number one, let's regroup that. Number 2, how often? And hey, I'll take you off so you can go do what you're doing.
Sure.
I would do it quarterly and see what you turn out.
Okay, quarterly.
And I think it's something that you need to get with Blair on, because a lot of times they're scheduled during the same month that something else is going on.
Right.
Such as May is going to be convention for us.
Right.
To be honest with you, I don't want to miss another day. Convention's going
Right.
on. Others may want to.
Right.
Or maybe we've got a co-op meeting that we need to go to. That's, I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but still, it's more time.
Stormy, can you hear me, Stormy? Or Nicole, can you hear me?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I do. Okay, both of you. Hey, really quick. I can't hear you, so don't try to talk to me. But what we need to do, Stormy and Nicole, is we need to email probably a couple of the owners, either Ken or, Blair, whoever, and probably Blair. And what we'll do is we'll say, hey, we want to do this in June. Do you think this is a good month for all of CBAs, and what period? So that way we could kind of have a better attendance on that. Okay. Hey, we're going to convention by the grace of God. Isn't that awesome?
Nice.
I'm excited. We're going to be giving away an Oculus and drones. Or by the grace of Jeremy and Blair. Okay. No, I appreciate that. Like whenever we got told that, I was like, I'm so crying.
You gonna have a vendor booth?
Yeah, we're going to have a booth there.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, I'm going to be hanging out with all y'all.
It's not how it works.
It's going to be great. It's good. Okay. Any questions, comments, or anything? This office is going to be used at 1:30 for title closing, so we need to be out for that, but go ahead.
It's 110, you're late.
I know.
Where do we find the training videos?
Training videos are going to be at Zion. We'll send a recap email to everybody. If you could write that note for me, Bailey. But
As well?
sorry, I will email you these slides. I don't want that to be on a website. So what we'll do is I'll email you the slides, and then we'll also probably email you these as well. But it's team@Zion Does It Better is our email. ZionDoesItBetter.com/text is our training videos for text messaging.
What's that phone number?
281-499-7070.
Can you just resend that to us?
I will.
All of that,
I will.
line by line,
Yep.
what it means, and
Yep.
who to get in contact with who.
ZionDoesItBetter.com/start is our sales video. So if you ever just need to be reminded, we'll put links in there.
Just send it to Blair. He can send it around.
It's good.
He can curate it, cut it up a little bit. And
He's got nothing else to do.
Any other questions for anyone online? And yes, I saw we would love to we would do it in DFW.
we
Absolutely.
get video background for that while you're doing.
Yep. It's going to be great. It's going to be great.
60-second interviews.
Just like a little snapshot.
I'm down. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll go ahead and close. I'm here for the rest of the day, so if any of you wanted to stay a little bit after and go over any kind of ARs or anything, just let me know. And what we'll do is we'll go from there. Any other questions before we end completely?
Republican or Democrat?
No. We're not going there. Do y'all know I do GoPax stuff too?
No, I'm going
Great.
to the combo emergency center dealing with vendors.
Are you?
Yeah, you're gonna be there?
I don't know.
You should check into that.
When is that?
I think it's 23rd or 4th.
Okay.
My wife and I are right on the table.
Hey, I'm going to end this broadcast. I'll see you soon. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, please message us, contact us. We'll see you soon. Bye.